if we were to ever make it to any of these other planets,
Yeah.
Mars, if you're even go past Mars to find some of these Earth-like planets
Mm-hmm.
and everything,
Mm-hmm.
there is a new study that has been being done on mice and rats through ultrasound technology to knock them into a hibernation type state, or also known as a torpor. Tupor. I don't know how to pronounce the word. Torpor. But in a sense, they're trying to
Cryo sleep?
not cryo, because cryo deals with freezing you.
Okay.
This is an ultrasound, so it's a sound that's supposed to put your brain into a hibernative state.
Wow.
And in this state, not only would it be for like space travel, but it could be used in medical advancement as well. So if somebody's all of a sudden having a heart attack, they'd be able to put them into this chamber, put these ultrasonic sounds into them, and it would put them into a hypernative state, which would lower the average body temperature to about 6.25 degrees Fahrenheit and reduce the oxygen consumption. So what they've been able to find, what happens with rats and other animals that do go into hibernative states, is that they don't consume as much oxygen through their blood. So they only ever really have to breathe every 10 minutes, one breath.
A rat.
A rat.
And
And
correct me,
it slows their heartbeat from hundreds of beats per minute to just a handful of beats.
So I was gonna say,
Yeah.
does not a rat's heart beat way faster
Way
than
fast.
ours? Do?
Oh, hella fast.
So if they take one breath 10 minutes, that means ours would be equivalent to...
Probably more.
You know,
I mean, 10 minutes, we'd probably take a breath every hour. Maybe
that's
even longer.
crazy.
But it is still a study
And then
that's only being done on
Okay,
animals.
but obviously, that's
Yeah.
how all these studies start.
Always mice and rats.
Unfortunately. I'm a vegetarian, but I don't know, but listen. They always start with the animal tests and stuff. But so when you're saying they've done this test, real quick, does this mean that they've done the test where you just said, and they do it, it works where they're alive, they're breathing only once every 10 minutes. Have they gotten them back out of this state and then they're fine?
Yes.
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 Wow.
So it's all just about the
Unreal.
sound. It is a constant emitted sound that puts you into the
Yeah, but
into
and
the
they can
hibernative
take
state.
you out and
they
get you
take you
back
out,
to normal.
and they're right back to how they were.
That's fucking
Just
crazy.
But there is a very weird thing about it with like sleep patterns. So like even with bears, how they, not bears.
Yeah, bears hibernate, Ronnie.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of a different animal at the time. I can't remember what it was. But there are other animals that hibernate, but they don't get good sleep. So they have to wake up to go to sleep to get that proper like REM cycle. Very
Okay.
strange, which could be something that we would have to do as well, where we would go into that hibernative state for so long.
I mean, do you guys want to
Wake
go to
up.
space or not? I mean, that's my question to you. I mean,
This
are
is
you
how-
telling me
this is the
that
way
there's
that we
no
would
single
get-
mothers out there that are working night shifts and not getting good sleep? I mean, do they want to go to space? Let's go.
But it's a thing of like, however far you're traveling, it may slow our metabolism to where we don't have to eat. It'll slow our oxygen intake to where we don't have to breathe as much.
Right.
And everything.
Everything is slowed
But
if you're
would
alive.
it
and...
slow our aging process?
Ooh.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
if it were to slow our aging process, that would be a very key thing that we could do in this day and age to almost emit immortality. In a sense.
Wow.
Or at least extend the longevity
Is
of
this
life.
something in the articles you've read here about this?
This is my own opinion.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
This is my own
It
theory
slows
on it.
everything
Yes.
so far that they've looked
It
at.
does. It will slow everything to the metabolic.
Metabolism,
Yeah.
breathing.
But will
everything.
it slow your own cells? Is the thing.
Wow.
And that's the hardest part about getting it for the space travel. Because if you're going on a 100-year-long journey,
Yeah, you're gonna be dead anyway.
by the time you get there.
That's
But the medical
crazy.
advancement for
I
this-
like the way your brain is working on that one
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, but the medical advancements of it also really cool.
Yes.
Somebody starts having a heart
Very
attack,
helpful and
you throw them
useful.
into that, it slows their metabolism,
But
slows their heart rate.
we want to
everything,
go and
gives them
see
such a higher
aliens
chance.
on other planets,
We
dude. That's what the
sure
fuck we
fucking
want to
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, will it slow the aging? I love that. That is pretty phenomenal. Let me ask you a question real quick on this subject. I'm not actually joking. How I always joke with that. I'm not joking. You have said to me before, I don't even believe it was on this podcast yet, but you have said to me before, when I show you pictures of things and you go, well, a lot of times I don't believe it when it looks like what we'd expect an alien to look like. If there's a video, a picture, and anything, and or depictions in general, like of let's say the Greys, is that correct? Like the 4 foot tall, big heads, and the gray,
funky
big eyes, you know, and you're like, because that's what they look like in the movies. So I tend not to believe that. Like, why would they look like they looked in the movies?
So I'm gonna interrupt you here because you did ask me like if they come out of that state normally.
Okay.
I found the part of this article that was doing it.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read this. So it's saying by repeating the ultrasound bursts every time the mice's body temperature is increased above a target level, scientists have been able to keep the mice in these torpor-like states for up to 24 hours without any signs of injury or discomfort. And when it was switched off, within about 90 minutes, normal body temperature and levels of activity recovered.
Wow.
Yeah.
They did it.
They did do it.
They did it.
And so far it's been done with 12 rats. And the device caused rats... I mean, dude, it's so perfect. And it's working on mammals, and I don't know how long it's gonna be.
You know, we need to loosen up on the people stuff. Like, I do get that you work on the rats, you do these things, but then like the part of the problem of this is, to be honest,
I mean, there's
this
a
is
lot.
my own opinion as all this
Shutting your brain off like that is dangerous. Though.
It's dangerous.
It can definitely cause a lot of memory loss. And,
they're doing it to the animals, and then good reason, whatever. You're doing it to them first. You do it, and it works. Who's stepping up? Don't we have a thing you can... Right, like Ronnie's raising his hand over here.
Bro.
Don't we have something in place where people... I mean, I know you can sign a paper. You can, like, volunteer for a thing. The problem is that we do get in the way of our own... There is 8 billion of us. If somebody on their own free will would want to do these things, which you will always out of all of us, 9 billion people, whatever there is now. I mean... You will always find somebody who will volunteer for something, for huge advancements.
Oh man, if I
technology.
could like take myself into a scientist and be like, hey, fucking do this to me right now. I want to see if it works. I don't care the risks.
Depending on what, give
my family a good settlement if anything happens to me.
Yeah, there's always going to be people who are willing to do that.
Yes.
And then we get in our own way where we go, no, it's a person. Like, so they can't even sign something on their own free will to want to do it.
It's a moral factor.
Yeah, but that's getting in the way, because what is morality if you're not forcing somebody into something? If somebody is very willing to...
If you were to step away from that morality, you know how crazy things would start to get.
How advanced we would start to get quickly.
We would advance quick, but it could cause a hell of a lot of problems too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that morality's gone, and then all of a sudden people are just taking people off the street.
No, I don't agree with that, because
there's evil. There is always evil people in the world.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing.
They will forge documents.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. See, here's the thing is, if you had evil people that were willing to, there's always going to be evil people in the world. Evil people.
Why not use it for like death row inmates?
Ronnie, people that are evil right now, people that were evil in Hitler and the Nazis that did all these experiments is because he could, and so he just do it. and nobody agreed to shit. It's just torture and taking
Yeah.
people off the streets. And nowadays, we don't see that you can have an entire government that is run that way without the world ganging up and shutting them down. But you will always
That's
have evil
true.
people. You will have the sign. This isn't even necessarily evil, in my opinion. But you had the guy that was like, I believe that if people want to die, they should, and so he'd euthanize them, even though that was illegal. You will always have
And
people.
now it is legal.
You will always
in some states.
You will always have people that will do what they want to do anyway, and so regardless of what rules we make, you will have that. So there is no harm in making a rule where people can, they
sign a form.
Yeah, sign a form,
Yeah,
make
so
a video, do all the steps you'd want them to do to
Right.
advance
So
technology.
like right now,
if they
it
agree
is
to
legal in
something.
some states where it is the what is it? Death with Dignity Act.
Yeah.
Where if you are of sound mind and you are able to take the medication, you are allowed to sign paperwork and commit suicide if you have a terminal illness.
Right. Right.
Now, what about death row inmates? There's tons of them. And
I'd rather die.
what do you mean?
I'd rather die than live my life in prison.
No, they're on death
would.
row. They're gonna die regardless. They're gonna be euthanized.
Yeah.
Why not have those kinds of people given the option to sign a piece of paper to undergo those types
And
of
maybe
scientific
give their
studies?
family money too.
Exactly.
Make it even more dignified. of a thing
Exactly.
to do.
That
Yeah.
way it's not just, hey, fuck you, you're dead
Yeah.
now. Like, sure, they did terrible things, but they could at least do one contribution to society before they died.
And their family, give their family
Yeah.
money.
Like,
for
that's something to think about. That's
Yeah,
a
it
really,
is.
that
It
is
really
a nice,
is. That's the way my mind works about things too. And it'd still be their choice.
It would be, yeah. I mean, they give you the choice. How do you want to die? You know?
You're gonna die anyway.
Here's your what do you want your last meal to be?
Listen,
Yeah.
what we're talking about on this is like putting people into a state where everything is slowed and their heart rate is slow. It's like not going to be painful.
No.
That we know that because that's not how that works. Slowing
not
your
even-
heart rate.
It's
and
not
your
even an
metabolism,
injection. It's nothing
No,
going
it's
into
not-
your body. It's
yeah.
all just by sound.
It's by sound, but even if it wasn't injection, I think it's slowing your heart. That's like how euthanasia works anyway.
Yeah.
But then these are to slow it to a degree where you'd even stay alive.
Yeah, and then you just